Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Here the week of the heavyweight championship fight between champion David Haye and Audley Harrison. I like David Haye in the fight. I have a video, but it is 5 months old, and I've heard that Lennox Lewis, the British great, the boxing Hall of Famer, has said that Audley Harrison, the underdog, has a real chance of winning this fight. I don't. Let me make a couple of points. Lennox Lewis fought a certain style of fighting. David Haye fights an entirely different style of fighting. While Lennox Lewis is certainly an expert on his style of fighting, keeping the other guy at the end of a jab, following through with very heavy right hands, right? He's a jabber. Right hand would push guys off of him to get them about arm's length away. He would defend himself, protect himself from, David Tua's left hook and other punches, and then would, land his own heavy shots, would walk the other guy down. That's Lennox Lewis's style. Now let's talk about why I don't believe that style, and it's also Audley Harrison's style, right? Audley's a southpaw, but it's the same type style where he's a big man trying to impose his size on you. Let's talk about why that style won't work against, in my opinion, the Roy Jones style of David Haye, right? And we're talking about a specific style, let's call it a language in boxing, that's used by Roy Jones, light heavyweight champion Jean Pascal, and David Haye. In fact, the best way to visualize it is as follows. Just imagine the Lennox Lewis-David Tua fight. David Tua, just like Audley Harrison, just like Roy Jones, had a great left hook, right? The Tua man was supposed to come in, get inside, drop Lennox Lewis. So while Tua was coming forward, Lennox Lewis kept him at the end of a left jab, right? Just kept the jab in his face. Tua was at the end of the jab. And of course, Lewis, if you look at the films, practically has his right hand planted up against his temple, just in case David Tua threw a left hook inside, right? Tua's goal in that fight was to get close to Lewis, so he's trying to slip the jab throughout the fight so he could get inside and land his money punch, right? That was his strategy. Now just imagine, boxing has evolved, right? Just imagine if Tua had superior foot speed to Lennox Lewis. And keep in mind, in my opinion, in particular in the heavyweight division, the athletes have gotten bigger, stronger, and faster. Just understand that David Haye is viewed as a smaller heavyweight. He weighs less, for example, than Audley Harrison, than Vladimir Klitschko, than Vitaly Klitschko, right? He's shorter than all of those guys. He's viewed as a small heavyweight. It might surprise some to know that David Haye today weighs more than both Ali and Frazier did for their first fight. Also, I know there's some question about David Haye's height. I know he's listed at 6'3". Understand whether he's 6'3", 6'2", or even 6'1". David Haye is taller than Sonny Liston was, right? So the heavyweights today, in my opinion, in general, are a more athletic, bigger group than they've been at any time since I can remember, right? Weights today in a typical heavyweight fight, they're up around 240, 250. Contrast that with the weights of yesterday when often heavyweight guys would come in at 210, 205. Rocky Marciano, for example, hardly ever weighed 200, if he ever weighed 200 at any time in his career. And he, of course, was heavyweight champ way back when. So just imagine a 2010 version of Lewis against David Tua, where David Tua is more athletic, has a decided foot speed advantage on Lennox Lewis. Rather than stay at the end of Lennox Lewis's jab, he's actually one step past that. He's outside the jab, and as Lewis comes forward, he has the foot speed to stay outside Lewis's jab. So even if Lewis throws the jab, Lewis is not going to hit him. And just imagine if Tua is enough of an athlete where he can stay outside, keep his hands up, then he can leap in as Lewis takes a step to come forward, right? Footwork's key in boxing. As Lewis takes a step to come forward to try to walk him down, he's able to literally dart inside, throw a jab, stiff jab, follow that blinding jab, right? That first jab's just to blind the fighter, throws a blinding jab followed up by his money punch, kind of like Manny Pacquiao did to Juan Manuel Marquez, right? And the money punch comes through like a pistol, right? It's a sniper shot. Hit Lewis, then get back outside of Lewis's reach, right? I believe that fight style that I've just described is the Freddie Roach school of fighting, right? Make no mistake, I understand that the folklore is that Freddie Roach is an Eddie Futch disciple. That might be true, but understand that Eddie Futch was actually the trainer for Joe Frazier, right? Nobody in Freddie Roach's staple fights like Joe Frazier. Rather, the way they fight is they use their legs for defense, right? This is the opposite of Roberto Duran type fighting. They're not in there, trying to, throw elbows and slip punches and get inside on you. They're not inside fighters. They are outside the guy's jab. They then are able to come in with their own jab, right? Amir Khan against Andre Kotelnik, Manny Pacquiao in his fights, comes in with his jab, then is able to come over the top with a money punch, then they get back out, right? This isn't Ray Leonard type combination punching where he's inside and he's throwing a bunch of punches. This is just a quick 1-2 until the fight starts to get lopsided, like Manny Pacquiao's fight did against Oscar. Then, of course, Manny Pacquiao comes inside and was able to throw combinations, bounce to the side, right? You're not elbowing the guy in front of him or blocking shots in front of him. You're not even focused on blocking shots. Your legs are your defense. You're bouncing to the side and you're throwing combinations. Now, just imagine a couple of wrinkles to the Freddie Roach style of fighting. Just imagine if, while being outside of Lennox Lewis's jab, David Tua drops his hands. Tua doesn't even jab. Doesn't jab his way in. He's using feints. He has a potent left hook, but he has his left hand down by his side ready to throw it at an angle that makes it hard for his opponent to block it, right? That's what Roy Jones does. Watch his fights. He has his left hand dangling by his side, right? Look at Sergio Martinez, who gets comfortable, drops his hands, right? And then, of course, is outside of a jab and he's moving around the ring. Then he leaps in and throws punches, right? This is the same style. And, of course, with the Roy Jones wrinkle, guys like David Haye don't shoot jabs. He's feinting. Then after he stands in front of the guy and is feinting, and the guy realizes that he doesn't have the foot speed to catch up with Haye, and invariably ends up standing across from Haye, Haye is able to come inside with a blistering punch, right, after he has out-feinted the other guy, right? This isn't an Ali jab fest. This is a guy using feints instead of jabs. Haye's able to out-feint the other guy, come in, throw hard punches, not a lead jab. He leads with overhand rights. He leads with left hooks. Take a look at the Enzo Maccarinelli fight. You're going to see that there's a moment in that fight where they're just looking at each other, feinting. Then David Haye comes in once he hits Enzo with a hard punch, right? Because keep in mind, the goal with Roy Jones, with David Haye, is to hurt you. Once he hits Enzo with a hard punch, that's when he steps inside and starts to empty the canister. That's when he unloads the gun, right? Well, my point to you is simply this. Audley Harrison doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with David Haye. David Haye is going to stay one step outside of Audley Harrison's jab. Haye is fully prepared. His sparring partner was Tony Thompson, about the best sparring partner he could get, a legitimate heavyweight contender who's already fought Vladimir Klitschko, who, like Audley Harrison, is bigger than Haye. I believe Thompson's 6'5". Like Audley Harrison, Thompson is a southpaw. Let me also make the point that I believe Tony Thompson's actually better than Audley Harrison, right? So whatever Audley worked on in his camp in terms of combinations and stuff like that, whatever Lennox Lewis era maneuver Audley Harrison has worked on, understand David Haye is not even going to be around to deal with that. He's going to be outside Audley Harrison's punch zone. Then as Harrison lumbers forward, and that's what Harrison's going to be, as he lumbers forward, Haye is going to leap inside at inopportune moments for Harrison. He's going to hit Harrison with blistering shots. Then he's going to get back out. He's not even going to try to block what Harrison throws. He's just going to get in. Then he's going to get out. And all I'm saying is Haye is one of the hardest hitters in boxing. I don't see what Harrison can do to beat him except perhaps get a lucky punch. My recommendation in this fight, and I know the odds are terrible, is to take David Haye to win the fight. If you want to straddle it, take Harrison by KO. I do not see how Audley Harrison can outbox David Haye. Unlike Lennox Lewis, I believe this fight is a mismatch, right? Haye is literally going to use Audley's strengths against him. Audley's jab is not going to land because David Haye is not going to be around for it to land. David Haye is not David Tua. He's not going to stand there and eat jabs until the cows come home. Rather, he's going to be outside. He's going to be thinking the entire fight on how he can land his left hook, right? He's not going to, have his hands up. He's going to have that left hook cocked. Understand, if you throw the left hook from down around your waist, it's a very hard punch to block. I mean, a tall guy, his height actually works against him because the punch is coming from way down low. And David Haye has the hand speed to pull it off. Also, Haye is a master, too, at throwing punches while he's backing up or moving to the side. And keep in mind, the punches Haye throws are not stun jabs, right? David Haye isn't even shooting a jab. He's not trying to kind of like stun you. He's literally throwing overhand rights and stuff like that. John Ruiz fought both Roy Jones and David Haye. Ruiz understood both times that he had to smother both fighters. And John Ruiz aggressively came forward against both fighters. In both fights, there are moments of the fight where John Ruiz comes forward, and as he's coming forward, understand the whole tenet, the linchpin of Roy Jones's fighting style is these guys are timing your feet. So as he comes forward in both fights, both guys took a step back and were able to hit him with very hard punches, right? You'll see in the first round of Haye Ruiz, Haye actually drops Ruiz on an overhand right as Ruiz comes forward. I know the fight style is unorthodox. I know people will say, wow, Haye doesn't keep his hands up. I know there are going to be times in the fight where it's sloppy. Harrison might come forward, Haye might have his hands down and stuff like that. But understand that's by design. All of these guys, Jones, Pascal, Haye, they all look sloppy at different times in the fight, but understand they're really relying on their legs for defense, and they look dominant, not good, but dominant against slow-footed opponents. Think about David Haye's opponents. You're going to find the majority of them are slow-footed, right? I believe Audley Harrison was picked by design. I expect David Haye to dominate this fight. The only chance Audley Harrison has, in my opinion, is a puncher's chance. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me at gamblersadvisory.com and enjoy the fight. Hope it works out. Thanks for watching.